G'day everyone, and welcome to our Caulfield Cup preview. I've got Trevor Lawson on the line. I'll introduce him in just a second. Before I do, he runs our Melbourne ratings service, which has full ratings for every runner, has speed maps, runner comments, and a live page where you can chat with Trev throughout the afternoon. There are a few different membership options for that, everything from 1 day to a Saturday membership, and then monthlies, quarterlies, and annuals. So if you're interested in checking it out, take a look at the Melbourne ratings page, as you can see there on screen. And like I said, there's quite a few different membership options, and for about 3 years now, it's been very successful. So we'll talk to the man himself. How you going, Trev?
Good, Dave. Yeah, good.
Good to hear. It's the Caulfield Cup that we want to preview today. How do you expect the track to play?
Well, the rail goes out to 6 metres, which has been the traditional rail position for the last few years, and normally it just plays pretty well and pretty even. If anything, in the past it might play a little bit leaderish, but at the moment I'm just sort of working on it being even, and I'll have a look at the track tomorrow. This being recorded Thursday afternoon, and take it from there. But I don't see the big issue. That rail was true yesterday for the Wednesday meeting, and they didn't get a long way away from the fence, so should be all new, fresh ground.
Okay. I'll give you the screen so that you can get your speed map as well, because I'd be interested to see how you expect the race to pan out.
Okay, so the speed map, it's a little bit speculative here, because we've got a number of overseas horses, and it's hard to get videos. It's hard to get all their videos. I've got a sort of number of them, so a little bit of guesswork. But basically, I thought Homesman from the inside could lead. Kingsville Dream, Venga Magic, and Ace High should get good runs. The Cliffs of Moa went back on last Saturday, and a couple of its runs I've seen in Europe, it sort of gets back. River Verdon's got blinkers on first time. Youngstar, they'll sort of be midfield-ish. Then you've got sort of Sound Check. It's been running in Germany. It sort of gets back, I think. And Best Solutions, Godolphin horse. Night's Watch I've sort of got back as well. It may go forward, but I'm not quite sure. And then out wider, John Snow probably goes forward. The Taj Mahal, I thought would have to go forward from the wide barrier. And Soul Impact's the Japanese horse. They tend to race on the pace. But because you've sort of got 400 metres to the first, or to the winning post in the first corner, a lot of horses will push forward at the start to try and get a position closer to the fence. So generally, the race is sort of genuinely run.
All right, that's a good idea of the speed. What about the main fancies themselves? I know you want to run through most of the runners, and I think you'd said there was about 5 that you don't give much of a hope to. But yeah, if you want to take us through the form, and also have a chat about with the overseas runners, how you go about lining up that form, considering you are primarily a ratings guy.
Yeah, okay, so here's the field. I normally just start at the bottom from habit. So the first horse is, I haven't done the 2 emergencies at the moment. I haven't got runs, and I probably won't. The first horse is Youngstar. He comes here 4th up. He won, or she won, couple of races over 2,200 in Queensland in winter. Last start, she ran 2nd to Winks. Winks ran the quickest sectionals of the day, and she ran 2nd quickest. So she ran sort of a bit quicker than anything else in the race. I thought it was a good, solid effort, and I just thought, I had a returning figure of 64, and I thought that 4th up here, thought this would be a target race, and I thought she could probably go to a new peak. So I put her in at 65. Night's Watch qualified for the race by winning the naturalism. He was sort of, I had his figures a little bit higher earlier in the prep. When he won the national, he went 62. The other day, he sort of had every chance last week. He did want to lay in the straight. Excuse me. I had him returning 62.5. I haven't left him at that figure at the moment. He is drawn wide. If anything, I'll finish up marking him slightly longer. Excuse me. I didn't think Garlic Chieftain had the figures. I didn't think the Japanese horse, Soul Impact. I had some time form ratings. He did 113, running sort of midfield, 104, getting well beaten, like 11 lengths, and 110. On my scale, I put him in 110, which equates to about a 60. So I've just left him there. Knights Will Dream. He qualified for the race by winning the Mornington Cup in the autumn. I had that as his best ever figure. He returned 67 that day. Resumed over 1400. He hit the line terrific. Went to 14 again, hit the line terrific. Went to 16, he worked home all right. And then last start, he was, I thought initially, slightly disappointing, and I had him rating down slightly, but it was in the Winx race, and I just thought that maybe that was his sort of one run where the trainer sort of left something in the tank for a peak figure for this Saturday. So I was happy to rate him to what he did, Mornington Cup, which in his first prep here in Australia was 5th up, and he is 5th up this Saturday. So I put him in at 67. Homesman. He ran well first up at Moonee Valley over 1600. Then he won the Weight for Age race, the Underwood, over 1800. And then last start, he went a little quick up the hill. It was a bit of a funny run race, and then he sort of slowed down, and then he sort of battled away okay. He's on the quick back up here. This is his first run at this distance range in Australia. He had one run at Ascot. I've just left him at the figure of 64, which is what he did 2 starts ago. Mighty Boss, I didn't think had the class. Ventura Storm, thought was an interesting horse. He's had 3 runs back. He ran okay in the Winx race. He did run the second best 600 of the day and the 4th best 400 and 200 you can see here. He's 4th up. In the autumn in Randwick, he sort of did a 64.5. He did 64.5 in the Australian Cup, and he did 64 in the Turnbull last year behind Winx. He did 62.5 last start, so I was happy putting him in 64, so 4th up, natural progression. Vengo Magic, I didn't think had the class. Then we get to another international, Red Verdon. He has Zach Purton riding when he has blinkers on first time. He looks like he's sort of a midfieldish type horse. On the time form ratings, he did 115, 114, 118, 115, 110. But 3 starts ago, he did beat the Cliffs of Moher, or Moa, by a length and a bit, beat it on its merits. So I could get a line on Cliffs of Moher last start, and so I rated him slightly above what Cliffs of Moher did raw figure last week, and that's slightly above the 118. So on time form, I'd have it about 121. So my figures, that's 65.5. Dorado is he gets back. 2 starts ago, he was a bit slow out and worked home all right. He rated 117. He's raced behind the top weight, Best Solution, and he's got beat sort of 3/4 length, having every chance. And in June, I think it was, trying to find it now. Yeah, so he's raced behind Best Solution. So the figure I have, so it worked out at about 64. The Taj Mahal, he went all right the other day, but I didn't think he's going as well as what he was last year. And I was happy to go around him from barrier 17. Ace High, Ace terrific Australian stayer. He won the Derby easily at his first run at sort of this distance range in the spring last year, and then he was beaten an inch in the AJC Derby. Last start he was first run 2000 for the prep. He's 5th up. He has a good pet and 5th up. He was 5th up when he went at the AJC Derby. So I thought he could do his figure again of 65. Sound check. He'd been running in Germany. He is about 118 to 119 horse. He sits sort of midfieldish. He works out at about a 64.5 horse. So his first start from Mike Moroney, so I think they've bought him since. John Snow, excuse me. John Snow ran well 2 starts ago over 1600 and then well beaten behind Winks. He did run in the Cup last year and sort of ran 9th. His form was slightly better last year. He's a bit of a hard horse to sort of get a line on. Damien Lane does go on, and at the moment I've sort of put him in at the 64, so just under what he did 2 starts ago. Chestnut Coat, this interesting horse, is a Japanese horse. On time form, he's done 119. He did 123 in a Kyoto race over 3,200. He got back and he was very strong late running on, and then he was well beaten in the next race. He's met Tossum Basil twice. Tossum Basil ran 2nd, beaten an inch in the Underwood, and then ran last week and got beaten, but he did run 2nd at 100 to 1 in the Underwood. And this horse has met him twice and beaten him easily twice. So I've rated him sort of a bit above what Tossum Stardom did the other day. And I put him in at 66.5. Cliffs of Moher was, as I said, I could get a line through River Verdon. But the other day he did 64 as a raw figure. But if I go to the breakdown of the race, you can see the red. Red is top 10 of the day. And so he ran top 10 figures from the 600 and the 400 and the 200 of the day. And only one other horse, Humidor, was in the top 10 as well. So he ran much quicker than anything else. He was sort of back with D'Argento. As you can see, they were 10th and 11th in the run. But he ran faster sectionals than D'Argento at home, yet they finished together. So arguably he could finish another step and a bit in front of D'Argento. He also ran a lot quicker than Humidor, and he came from behind Humidor as well and got within 0.2 of it. So arguably he should have beaten it by more. Just the form that I used for it, I mean, he returned 64 raw figure. Trained by Aidan O'Brien, pushing for him a bit. I've put him in at 67, so I've stepped him a fair bit off last week, but he was powering home. Maybe he's going to the Melbourne Cup, but I was sort of happy to put him in at that figure. And then Best Solution, he did 120 earlier this year, 120 again, 119 first up, 120, and then last up they've got him doing 125. The 120s, that's where he had a line through Duretto, and it sort of worked at 120, and then the last start they're saying he sort of did 125. So I sort of queried that figure a bit, and I was happy to put him in between the 125 and the 120 on their figure. So that equated to about 66.5. So when I go to the market, I finish up with Best Solution around $21, Cliffs of Moher 12, Chestnut Coat 12, Ace High sort of 20 to 1, River Verdon around $9.50, $10. Ventura Storm $21, Homesman sort of 15. The favourite Kingsville Dream around the 420. Night's Watch about $21 and Youngstar $6.50. So I sort of haven't put the barriers in yet, so I might just slightly change that market a bit, but definitely think Kingsville Dream will get the run of the race. Youngstar should get a pretty good run as well. Verdon should get a good run. So the ones I sort of want to be, and Chestnut Coat, so the ones I sort of want to be on, I can sort of be on. If I go to the market, we can see that Cliffs of Moher is slightly shorter than what price I've got it. So as you can see, I gave it a fair bit, so it does seem a bit short. It is Huey Bowman from an inside barrier, and as we found out at Flemington 2 weeks ago, sometimes that's not a positive. The Japanese horse looks good odds, $19. River Verdon looks terrific odds at $21. The favourite is at the moment $5, a little bit of $5.50, $6 on Betfair. I think he represents good value. And the second favourite, you know, I've got him sort of $6.50. There's one sort of $6.50 at the moment, and $7 on Betfair. So he's sort of around what price I've sort of got him. So at the moment, it looks like a race that there's a little bit of value.
Good stuff. And you don't always get involved in the Group 1 races. Obviously, everyone's excited by the big ones, but there are times when you just say it's too hard and pass. It sounds like this will be a betting race for you, though.
Oh, I think so. Only because, I mean, I'm happy to sort of, generally in the past, it's just because you can't get a line on anything. And it's a bit like last week. We had the two horses that won last week. You know, they both outperformed their race in Victoria rating. They both outperformed their time form rating. So it's a bit of guesswork. But, I mean, if you think you've got value, then I'm sort of happy to have a bet. But if you're just going to be the same as the market or you're not sure, well, then I'm not. But sort of after doing the market, it's like, oh, well, I sort of think there's a bit of value, and I'm happy to, spend some money to find out if I'm right.
Yep, sounds good. All right, Trev, we'll wrap it up there, mate. Appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Whether a member, thanks for your support, or if you're having a think about it, by all means, get in touch. You can check out the website at championbets.com.au or give us a call. It's 1300 500 057. Thanks, Trev. Thanks, everyone else.
Thanks, David. Thank you. Bye.